You've heard it a million times, right? Shouted by coaches, printed on t-shirts, maybe even whispered in your own head when you're hitting a wall. Just 4 little words that basically sum up an entire philosophy of how to work hard.
Of course you know it. You've probably said it. It's like the unofficial motto for toughness, for grit, for just plain old-school determination. And it feels true, doesn't it?
But what if I told you that following this advice literally could be the very thing holding you back, or worse, leading you straight down the path to a serious injury? Yeah, today we're going to put this famous slogan right under the microscope.
The whole argument really boils down to this one question. Is no pain, no gain a brilliant psychological tool to help us push past our mental barriers, or is it a dangerous physiological myth that we really need to get rid of for good?
So you've got 2 camps. On one side, people argue it's all about motivation. It's not about actual injury pain. It's about embracing that feeling of discomfort that comes with growth. It's about telling that voice in your head that wants to quit to just shut up for a minute. But then on the other side, you've got modern sports science chiming in, saying, whoa, hold on. Pain isn't a goal. It's your body's alarm system. Real progress, they say, doesn't come from suffering. It comes from smart recovery. That constant grind mentality is just a fast track to burnout.
So, who's right? Well, the truth is, this whole debate really hinges on 2 little words that we tend to use as if they mean the same thing, but they absolutely don't. And getting this right is the key to everything.
First up, let's talk about discomfort. Now, this is the good stuff. This is productive. It's the burn you feel in your muscles during those last few reps. It's that heavy, tired feeling in your legs on a long run. It's your body saying, okay, this is hard, but we're adapting, we're growing. Pain, on the other hand, is a totally different animal. It's not a sign of hard work, it's a warning signal. It's your body pulling the emergency brake and screaming that something is wrong, and you're about to do some real damage. Pushing through that isn't tough, it's just reckless.
Let's break it down right here. See, on the left, in the useful column, you have discomfort. Things like muscle burn, heavy fatigue, that's the feeling of progress. But look at the right side, the dangerous column. Sharp stabbing pain, pain in your joints, that's not a good sign. And soreness that just won't go away for days, that's not a badge of honor. It's a sign you've done way too much.
You see, elite athletes spend years of their lives learning to walk this tightrope. They become masters at telling the difference between productive discomfort and damaging pain. But for most of us, that line is incredibly blurry. And that is exactly why a simplistic, black and white slogan like no pain, no gain can be so dangerous.
So, once we understand this huge difference between pain and discomfort, the whole debate shifts. It really forces us to ask some pretty tough questions about our entire fitness culture and what we even think it means to be tough.
And here's where it gets a little controversial. You have to wonder, in our rush to train smart and optimize recovery, are we maybe creating a generation that's just afraid of being uncomfortable? Have we lost some of that vital old-school toughness along the way?
But the other side of that argument is just as compelling. Maybe this has nothing to do with being soft. Maybe we're just finally getting smart. Using science and data to train effectively, instead of just relying on raw emotion and grit that, honestly, often leads straight to a dead end.
So, are we getting soft or are we getting smart? The answer might really boil down to one single powerful psychological driver inside all of us, this weird need we have to use suffering to validate our effort. We're kind of wired to believe that if it didn't hurt, it didn't count, like we haven't truly earned the result.
And that leads to a question that we all really need to ask ourselves. The next time you're pushing through real pain, is that truly discipline? Or is that your ego talking? Are you trying to prove how tough you are, even when your body is begging you to stop?
So if we can agree that no pain, no gain is at best really misleading and kind of outdated, then what should we be saying instead? We need a whole new vocabulary for talking about effort.
So let's try on a few powerful upgrades. Instead of no pain, what about no discomfort, no adaptation? That's precise. It's just biologically true. Instead of obsessing over suffering, remember that consistency beats suffering. Showing up day after day is what really moves the needle. And instead of blind effort, how about smart effort over blind pain? And maybe one of the best ones is train hard but recover harder, because that finally acknowledges that the real growth, the real magic, happens when you rest.
So maybe the best update is the simplest one. Train hard, recover smarter. It keeps the intensity, but it adds the intelligence. It's not about avoiding effort.
It's about making sure that effort actually counts for years and years to come. So maybe the real question isn't whether we've lost our toughness, it's whether we finally gained some intelligence.